Dane, how are you, man?
Great. It feels like forever since we've been together here. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm
Yeah, we've had
excited
a
for tonight.
few tournaments we've called, a few call ups. We got called up
Yeah.
this weekend, had some fun, local games and all that.
Yeah.
Uh, Big month of June in store for us, man. So excited for the days ahead. But I got to
Absolutely.
talk to you about tonight's guest coming on here in a little bit, Kerri McKeehan, which we'll get to in a minute. Kerri Mack, as I like to endearingly call her. What we're doing tonight, man? There's this process. You know what? You and I, when we started the show 2.5 years ago, we've
Yeah.
always said women of inspiration, leadership, female aspirations, female leadership. That's what we
Yeah.
want to show. We want to
Absolutely.
showcase those in that world that make those around them better. And the
Yeah.
girl that we're going to bring on here in a minute, let me tell you, she's got an eye for photography, Dane. This
Yeah.
artist tonight is a shutterbug. I'm telling you, some of the stuff she's done over the years,
Yeah.
capturing moments live. I wish I had the eye of this girl. Like if I could see the world through her eyes, through the lens, I'm telling you, it's like a Picasso. So basically, what she's known for, Kerri McKeehan. Obviously, we her brother's a pretty cool dude too, type Mac, whatever. He's cool. But Kerri, what she's known for is this great photographer. I cannot understand the world of photography. I think it perplexes me. There's such a unique level of artistry that I can't understand. So we thought, why not take a moment, talk to this girl, a strong female leader, woman of faith,
Yeah.
just an inspirational person,
Yeah.
and just let's hear her side of the story, if you will, right? So,
Absolutely.
Dane, I fanboy out, but I got to get right down to it and bring on Kerri yourself. Kerri Mack, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Awesome.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us tonight,
Of
giving us your
course.
time.
Thank you for asking me. It's fun.
Yes, Kerri. So I'm going to jump. I know you're a busy lady. I appreciate you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump into the question set Dane and I had prepared for you. I'm going to go first. Obviously, the shutterbug that you are, this artist, this just Picasso behind the lens. Take me back to when you got the bug for this, maybe back high school, before that. When did you get the itch to start really capturing the world the way you've done? When did this all begin for you, if you will?
Capturing what I like and what I so in college I took a photography class and I didn't do very well because it was like landscape photography, which was not at all any interest of mine. I didn't know that was what was going to be focused on. And so I I kind of lost the itch, but after I got out of college, my brother asked me to be the creative director for Gotee Records. And there was only three of us in Toby's basement, and we were just starting out, just a small little independent label. And we had Out of Eden was our first artist that was signed, and they asked me actually to. It was really expensive for photographers back then for some strange
Yeah.
reason. It was like seven
Mhm.
thousand a day for an 8 hour shoot, and so
Oof, wow.
Toby's like, "You go out and take a picture of Out of Eden," and I was like,
Mm.
and so I had to come up with what I wanted them to wear, and they were so uncomfortable with what I suggested, but they did it, and it ended up becoming the album cover, and everyone loved it. And so
Mm.
that was the first thing, and so I I did start doing working with the image of the artist, anything
Yeah.
visual that you saw, any
Right.
of the CD packaging. I was the art director. I oversaw it. I did a little graphic design, but I hated it because I'm not super technical like that.
Yeah.
With the, I am, I just know what my eye wants to see. And my eye is
Mhm.
like the art of it. So I would hire graphic designers to do like the album covers, but I would art direct them like how I wanted it to look, what kind of font to use, and blah blah blah. And then so yeah, so Out of Eden became pretty popular, and then we hired Christafari. I don't know if you remember them, but a
Yeah,
bunch of
absolutely.
yeah, and then Grits and tons of artists. But those are probably the three first ones I think. Oh, and then Jennifer Knapp, of course,
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
which is another one that I was like, now that we were rolling in a little money and we had some
Mhm.
artists, I was able to hire as an art director photographers to do photos of like Jennifer Knapp, for example.
That's
And
cool.
we easy 8,000 on that photo shoot. And I was just like, none of us were like, we don't like these at all. And I was there for him. I was like, but it just wasn't her, and it wasn't what I thought was her. And just getting to know her and her music, she was staying at my house after the photo shoot. I said, I'm grabbing my camera. We're going across the street in this field. Grab your electric guitar and let me do your makeup really dark. And that was the cover shot over
Wow.
some
Yeah.
$8,000 big photographer.
Was that the Kansas album? Kerri, that was it the Kansas album? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
was her
awesome.
first.
Wow.
That's awesome. Wow. And it's like, no, I'm that guy. Dane knows this. We joke about this a
Mhm.
lot. So you're one of the people when I would go and open up the artwork and like back in the day, we talk about this. Back in the day, before iPods, before digital, we could actually look through the album. Like you could even had a new album
Oh, yeah.
smell, right, Dane? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, yeah,
So
absolutely.
Kerri back, you're the reason Gotee has that. So thank you so much for being so creative. Go ahead, Dane.
Of course. It
Yeah.
was
Now,
fun.
whenever,
And it was exciting for me because like I
yeah,
said, in college, I studied psychology and I was just like, I didn't even know like you could do these kind of things back then. Like,
Yeah.
you know, this is like 1990 and I'm like, I didn't even know I could be creative and do stuff like this. And then Toby was a senior at Liberty when I was a freshman, and he was just starting. He just had gotten signed that senior year
Mhm.
for Heaven Bound
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
from
Oh yeah.
so from his record company Forefront. But yeah, so I mean, I didn't know where that was going to take him. I just thought, okay, this is
Let's
cool.
go.
This is good. But I had no idea he was going to have a label and then maybe create a job for me, which at first they asked me to do marketing. I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Love it. I love it. Go
And
ahead,
then I
Dane.
eventually ended up just being, let's just call me the art director, creative director. But I would
That's
oversee the ads in CCM magazine. I would oversee the CD packaging. I would dress the artists. I would
Mhm.
put their image. I would have Reliant K, all these guys in my hair in my house doing their hair at like 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Or anybody, you know, like just I colored hair. I did everything. I was like the 10 hat girl.
Yeah.
So were you, let me ask you this, because
Yeah.
I spent a summer, Dane, I'm sorry, Dane. I spent a summer, Kerri, following when they did Welcome to the Freak Show. Were you part of that? Because I dressed like Kevin for like an entire summer. Did you have any involvement with Welcome to the Freak Show, like the live tour? Were you part of that? Because that was me
Not
for
this show. No.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead, Dane.
Whenever you go into a shoot for any artist or anything like that, do you like to maybe talk to them for a while? What's your process to figure out what's the best way to shoot that particular artist or that particular show or anything that you do? Do you kind of just talk to the artist to kind of get a feel for what they are before you maybe start putting them in their dress or makeup and things like that?
I would never shoot someone I didn't know or get to know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ever. I don't remember what album it was, but the second album or third album of Jennifer App, I made her go on a trip with me. I think we went to New Mexico for like a week
Oh, wow.
because I was like, we're gonna do something different because we were
Mhm.
getting to know each other well because I did her makeup and I did her hair, and so we were tight. And anybody that I worked with, I would always want to get to know them because
Mhm.
they made me image them, and I wanted
Mhm.
them to feel comfortable. And because most artists were so moldable back then, as far as
Mhm.
what they wanted to look like or portray. And
Right.
Yeah,
so yeah, most of them just are concentrating on their music.
I love
So
that.
I would get in there and I would be like, you know, just play with them. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I'd show them pictures, tear sheets from magazines and stuff like that, and just get a feel for what matched them personality and music wise.
Man,
Okay. So what are
I'm
some of maybe what are some of your favorite shoots that you've done for particular artists that you're particularly proud of? I mean, you have a great catalog, but what are maybe a couple of the artists that you're particularly proud of?
yeah,
I would say for sure Jen Knapp.
yeah.
And then I definitely Christ Safari was fun because we got to go to Jamaica to do that. And I love going to Jamaica. Toby's wife is Jamaican, so I've been there a bunch, but that was only like the third time. They were pretty fun to shoot. It's hard to shoot when you shoot like 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult. But Reliant K was fun for sure. And of Grits, always Grits.
Yeah. Coffee's
I
awesome. I love him.
I keep in touch
He's
with
cool.
Coffee even till today. Yeah.
He's cool. Yeah.
Wow.
He's
I heard
cool.
did you do some work? One of my boys from POD. Maybe I heard you wrong. Did you work with POD as well? I thought I heard you say that one time. Maybe I got that wrong. Is that a no, or did you
That's a
also work?
no. I
Okay, that's
I
cool.
didn't
That's
meet
cool.
them. I know
That's cool.
them, but
That's
I don't
cool.
know them
That's cool.
well. No.
Got you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I love the Cry Safari stuff. I actually messaged a singer a few months back, and they're all great people. Obviously, if they know you, there's this tight knit circle, and it's a cool bond. The
Yeah.
influence you guys have, what Gotee has done, I'm telling you, and I was talking to Dan about this a while back. Gotee, what you've done, this movement, and that's what I want to expand to. take back
Mhm.
maybe 20 years in time. We were looking at like stuff like Reliant K, Supertones, obviously Toby's solo stuff, Grits before like Lecrae, this whole predecessing movement. Like now the scene of what we have, there's so many artists that now tell their story of faith, but also like great artists. You guys started that. You started the movement of like, it's cool to be a good artist and also have a
Yeah.
message at the same time. I'm curious, like you as an artist, whatever that encompasses, who's been a couple people that have like been your muse? Like you're like, these are my
Yeah.
go-tos. Who influences Kerri? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
As far as Gotee people, or as far as
or
anybody?
just you as like you as an artist, who is your influence? Like if you're like, oh, I want to be like that person, that my eye and their eye is like aligned. Who influences you? Anybody,
As a photographer, you mean?
Yeah.
I would say probably Annie Leibovitz. Like I liked her
Okay.
stuff a lot, and I like Peter Lindbergh. I don't know if you
Okay.
know this. It was more fashion,
I
and
got you.
that was because I was imaging them, and I've always been into like I've been like looking through little fashion magazines since I was 10 probably. And so I think fashion and working with like people like that, but their photography, to me, those are the two probably most that I love the most. As far as it's very modelly, it's very fashion, but it's just kind of raw, and I
I
like
love
that.
it. I love it. I love Kerri, and I say this, and I mean this with all my heart. I think it's so cool what you guys have done, you and your brand, you Gotee, and just expanding beyond that. I keep going back to this, Dane, and I say this so often. I love how you are so genuine, so thorough. You have this great message. You didn't have to choose between a message you wanted to present and being elite. Back in the day when I remember growing up, and you mentioned a little bit off the air, we were talking about just kind of sometimes back in the day, we'd have like, okay, is it a good artist or is it like a good message? It was never usually both, right? But you and Toby and Gotee and things you guys did, you started connecting the dots where it's cool to be a great artist, great fashion, inspirational, and cool all at the same time. So Dane helped me because I'll fanboy out there. Keep me on track, with board.
Well, with all that you do, I was just going to ask, now that we're in 2024, about halfway through the year, what is on the horizon for you as an artist, and what are you looking forward to as we roll into the summer?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been on a tiny bit of a hiatus because there's been some like loss in our family, and so I've kind of put the camera down, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is, and it's
understandable.
When I took pictures for the first time at Toby's concert, I was running all over the arena, the venue. I was running like a crazy person because the energy was back, and I was like, I missed it. I really missed this. But but it's just for me right now, I kind of just with the loss and stuff, I kind of like just put the camera out for a little bit and kind of just wanted to kind of refigure out what I wanted to do. And then it just, since back then, nobody was a photographer back then that had our kind of vision in Christian music. I mean, we had Amy Grant, and we had Michael W. Smith, and we had a few others. I mean, Gotee was like the first kind of street cool kind of Christian label. And I think that for me, I got that feeling back that I want to start doing this again. I got to get back into it. So I'm going to probably this summer try and start picking up the camera a little bit more.
Love that. Love it, Kerri. Well, I know anything you capture, it's going to turn to gold. You've got that touch. I'm telling you, I was telling Dane because we were sharing some of your snapshots back and forth. I'm like, man, the way you do stuff, because I have a buddy who does our photography. He's also worked at the Realtree. I'm like, how do you do this? Like, it's so cool. Like, I can't see it. Like, I don't see the way you see things. So it's really, it's a whole different lens, right? So my hat goes off to you. There is a segment, Kerri, I promise you, in any interviews or media stuff that you've done in the past, I promise you, this segment that we're about to do, no one's ever had a segment like this with you. We're known for this. This next segment is called Rapid Fire. Let me set the stage here. We get questions from all over the world. We're so blessed to have worldwide participation. What this is, there's 5 questions. We call it Rapid Fire. And what this is, Dane and I, we already have our bets. We've already bet on what we think you're going to say. So here's how this works.
You have bets?
We have bets. So the winner gets lunch provided by the loser. It's really cool. So what this is, there's no wrong answer. You pick what you feel is right. We're going to tell you if we bet and got it right or not. And whoever gets the closest picks, the winner gets lunch provided by the loser on what you say. It's really cool.
Is it multiple choice?
There's 2. It's A or B. It's A or B. Okay.
Okay.
So
Ready?
In this segment, imagine that time doesn't exist. Imagine you can go into the future, you can go to the past. It's kind of a fun, silly, rapid segment where time doesn't exist. Okay. So you picked the right answer for you. Okay, so check it out. You're doing they call you up after a little hiatus, like you said, and one of the things they want you to do is Kerri Mack. I'm branding that, just so you know, I'm branding that. They want you to actually do a celebrity darts tournament on ESPN. You're going to be doing a darts tournament, and you get to pick your opponent for this celebrity darts tournament. Your two choices, your opponents, you can choose Joanna Gaines, lover, Joanna Gaines, Chip and Joanna, fixer upper, or you can go against Miley Cyrus in this celebrity darts tournament. Joanna, Miley, who do you want your opponent to be?
Miley, 100%.
Oh my gosh, I had Joanna. Dane, who'd you have on that? Oh my gosh.
I had Joanna as well.
Let's go. Okay, that's okay. Again, no wrong answer. So no wrong answer. The second question.
Miley's super interesting to me right now. I don't know why. She's just got, I don't know. Now she's clean and everything now. I just think she's, and I like her music. I do.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, no wrong answer. Go with what you feel. No wrong answer.
I like
so
her
Dane,
tenacity. I think she'd be fun to play with.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So Kerri Mack and Miley in this. I got you. So question 2. Here we go. Question 2. You're going to do a TV show, a celebrity TV show where they're going to have you travel across country, kind of like these road shows that they do. Kerri's going to be doing a road show. And the show, what it's about is you're going to travel across the country, photographing really cool pieces of stained glass at churches, like cool stained glass stuff in churches, okay? You're traveling across the country, you're showing stained glass. You get to choose your co-host. Check this out. Love both of these awesome ladies, but you got to pick your co-host. Your co-host you can choose from is either Rihanna, lover, or you can choose Beyonce, lover. You got to pick one. Who's your co-host?
Did you say Brianna?
No, Rihanna or Beyonce.
Rihanna.
Oh, let's go. Dana had that one. I really did. Who'd you have, Dan?
Oh yeah, Rihanna.
Let's go.
Can't go wrong with her.
Got you. I just think it'd be really cool.
Beyonce would intimidate me.
I love it. So
That's
last
a funny
two.
question.
I love it. It's just random stuff, man. They just pull in, the audience is cool. So 2 more. You get to photograph with your lens the way you capture the world. Both of these sporting events are amazing. I don't know how I'd pick this, but you got to pick one. They say, Kerri, we want you to photograph one of these 2 sporting events. You can photograph Game 7 of the World Series. You can photograph that, or you can photograph the Super Bowl. Like you're responsible for the whole thing. I know all the to-dos with Super Bowls and all that, but Game 7 of a World Series or photograph a Super Bowl, and it's all you. Which one would you prefer?
Super Bowl.
You did. I had World Series, Dane. What'd you have on that?
Oh, the Super Bowl. That's big time right there, man.
I get it, but I'm like,
where's that?
I know,
so
but I'm.
I only, you know why I only say Super Bowl is because in college I did work on the yearbook team for a little while, and I did photos of football.
Okay.
A little more action.
I can't believe it. I'm Dane, you're ahead of me. So last one, maybe I'll come back on this. Okay, this is going to be more of a silly. This is the silliest one of all. So
Oh gosh.
they're saying Kerri Mack gets to be responsible for capturing on film one of these 2 folklore legends, whatever you want to call them. Okay, you can be responsible for finally getting it on video. The 2 things that you can get on video is either A, you can finally capture a Bigfoot sighting, love it, or B, you can finally capture real evidence of the Loch Ness monster. Bigfoot, Loch Ness, which one are you going with?
I would be. You mean I would be like taking a photo of this?
Yeah, like you're responsible. You can video it, however you want to do it. You can TikTok it. You are responsible for catching one of these 2 legends, quote unquote legends, live.
I'm gonna say Bigfoot.
Oh my gosh, I had Loch Ness monster. Dane, did you have Bigfoot or what did you have, Dane?
Oh yeah, Bigfoot. I'm on a roll, man. I'm on a roll.
Dane, I'm so mad at you, Dane, because you beat
I
me.
know,
Dane,
and I talked
so.
to you, Josh, most.
I know, it's crazy. Let's go.
Stop that.
So I had you for Loch Ness, okay? I really did. I just thought that was kind of like cool, eerie, mysterious. Like I could see it coming up out of the water and the steam rising around it. I had this whole epic thing in my mind. So Dane, whatever, Dane, you win. So okay.
You get lunch.
Well, Kerri, thank you for being a good sport. That's just a little segment that we do called Rapid. So thanks for being a good sport on that. Okay. So Dan, I'll give it back to you for that final segment.
Yeah, on our final segment, Kerri, we call it open mic. We open up the floor to our guests to maybe talk to some of those younger viewers and listeners about maybe following their dreams. You know, like you said, you had a major in psychology and you turned into the artist you are today. Is there maybe a message or a mantra or a philosophy that you can maybe give some of our younger listeners and viewers about following their dreams?
Well, I guess like for me when I was younger, I didn't know what the options were, you know, and that was my fault. I just was growing up in college. So I think and I had no direction. Like I just knew that I liked fashion and stuff like that. And so I guess really I would encourage someone to really like get to know themselves and what makes them want to get up in the morning, what makes them passionate about something. And that's where I think they'll find happiness and love it and want to breathe it and just, you know, practice it and pursue it and just pursue as much as you can of it and get as much information, get mentors around you, get asked questions to, you know, people that are get a support group or start working for someone that does what you want to do, stuff like that. That's
Wow.
what and connect with, you know, just have good supportive friends and learn how to ask questions to the person that's doing what you want to aspire to do.
I like that. Learn how to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you know, Kerri, Dane and I always say, because we coach and we, you know, we do music and all that. And Dane always has this philosophy where he says, Dane, you say make your mistakes at full speed, right, Dane? It's kind of what you say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, Kerri, what you're saying is like, don't be afraid to like, hey, learn from others, obviously. And I look at what you've done, and that there's this body of work, and like it or not, you're a legend in the field. It's true. Like people know who you are. Like when I was like, Kerri, like you are known for what you do. So you've made this brand, and where you started from, seeing that people can do what you do now, probably even easier than when you started off. Like you said, back in the day, it was not that easy to get going. Now the skill set you have, the mentorship that you have, people can go pick it up. They just can't be afraid to do it. So thank you for shedding some much needed wisdom. That's awesome.
Yeah, of course. And one other thing I was going to say is I think a reason why I kind of backed away a little bit from pursuing it as much as I wanted to do it is also because, you know, when I started with photography, it was only film. So when digital came out, everyone started to be a photographer. You know, there was a lot of competition. I wasn't getting hired as much when it was freelance. So you have to also really think about the future and what could happen, what's going to change, because technology is changing all the time. And that's probably a reason I backed off a little as well. Because I was like, anybody can do it now.
But I will tell you this, with the resurgence of vinyl and all this nostalgia, I'm glad you're getting back into it, because digital's cool, but you can't replace someone who's got that eye, right? Like I said, when I'm looking back over when you spoke about Jennifer Knapp's album covers or things like that, I'm that kid that would sit there and I would go through the album. And Dane and I talked about this, and you're just looking at it. Like that is a visual representation of the music. What you do, people it's priceless. So I'm so grateful that you'll be getting back into it. Can't wait to see your upcoming work. Yeah. I will say this. Also, Kerri, one thing we'll say too, once you're on the show, you're an alum. As you kind of capture more art in the future, as you get more stuff this year that you capture, you're always welcome to come back on the show anytime. We'd love to have you back in the future as well.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Well, Kerri, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know there's a lot right now going on just in life, so thank you for making time. Don't be a stranger, and we'll promise to get this out.
It's great talking to you guys.
Of course, Kerri. We'll get this out as soon as we can, and I appreciate you so much for joining us. Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Thank you.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care, Kerri. So Dan, I'm telling you, man, I love her. Kerri's so cool. There's like the artistic vision, the eye that she has, the way she just captures the world. I can't say enough. Like I do music, you do coaching. What'd you think of her, Dane? She was really cool, you know?
I mean, I love the message. I mean, any artist that you talk to or anybody that you talk to that does something at a high level, they make it look effortless, even though they put a lot of work, a lot of hours behind it, a lot of years behind it in a lot of cases. If you can get somebody that you look at their product and you think, wow, how did they capture that? It looks so natural. But like she said, there's people that, you know, she has to get to know, and to get to know somebody, you know, to make it look so natural is you know, it's beyond what just a normal guy with a camera can do.
Yeah.
And that's why they call it art.
she said it in a way where it's like, I will capture something. She's capturing life. She's capturing relationships. If you
Yeah.
think about it, like I know this person because we hung out, we went out of town together. We had this vacation together. That's like, hey, I'm capturing friendship. And it's so
Yeah.
different, man. Like I'm
Yeah.
so glad she's coming back because I'm so tired of cookie cutter digital, the
Yeah.
prepackaged stuff. I want real. We
Yeah.
we talk about this in our artists, our athletes, and now
Yeah.
our tattoo artists. What she's doing is capturing real life. That's what people want to
Yeah.
see is real life,
Absolutely.
So cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Such a cool person to meet, man. I told you when I
Yeah.
first met her, I was like, I was shaking. I don't get nervous much. I was like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, Kerri Mac, that's cool. So we were talking back before she goes, bro. She said, bro, slow it down. So it was cool to meet her. So Dane, that's Kerri McKeehan. We're so grateful that she took time to kind of
Yeah.
explain her side of the lens, if you will.
Yeah.
Can't wait to have her back on in the future. But we got one more, Dane. So Kerri was gracious enough to give us her time. We've got one
Yeah.
more after her, our buddy Judd, the pro skater, doing some great missionary work, stopping by after this. So, as much as that was amazing, we got one more to get to. So we'll
Yeah.
wrap it up, take a quick breather, come back. So, as always, on behalf of the Dane and Josh show, don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane,
Thank you for listening.
okay. So